Hello, my name is Kara Tucker, and I'm the Chief of Disabled Services for the great City of Jacksonville. I'm excited to be able to join you to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Having cerebral palsy and being born before the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed, it gives me a total appreciation for the quality of life improvements the Act has given to individuals with disabilities. We have spent months preparing for this celebration, and we hope you enjoy this video and find it informative. It is an honor to serve in this position and continue to advocate for people with disabilities.
Hello, I'm honored to be here to issue this proclamation. Whereas on July 26, 1990, President George H.W. Bush signed into law the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, to ensure the civil rights of people with disabilities. This legislation established a clear and comprehensive national mandate for the elimination of discrimination against individuals with disabilities. On July 26, we celebrate the anniversary of the signing of the ADA, and whereas the City of Jacksonville, Florida affirms the principles of equality and inclusion for persons with disabilities, as well as numerous organizations throughout our city and state work with constituents and communities to bring forth the promise of hope and freedom that was envisioned by the passage of the ADA. And whereas the ADA has expanded opportunities for Americans with disabilities by reducing barriers, changing perceptions, and increasing full participation in community life. However, the full promise of the ADA will only be reached if we remain committed to continue our efforts to fully implement the ADA. And whereas on the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the City of Jacksonville, Florida celebrates and recognizes the progress that has been made by reaffirming the principles of equality and inclusion and recommitting our efforts to reach full ADA compliance. Now, therefore, I, Lenny Curry, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of Jacksonville, Florida, do hereby proclaim July 26, 2020 as Americans with Disabilities Act Awareness Day in Jacksonville, and encourage all citizens to increase awareness and support for equality and inclusion for all people with disabilities. Thank you for what you do.
Well, I was injured when I was 16, and I was actually injured before the ADA.
I've been in the chair since July of 2008.
I have something called liver amaurosis. I was born with it.
I was 11 when I first I woke up one morning to get ready for school, and then in like 15 minutes lost like completely everything.
Legally blind since I was about 23. I'm 51 now, so more than half my life.
I've been on the Mayor's Disability Council for a while, and just seeing how much we've been able to change the city internally. You know, working with the other departments and, you know, educating people one at a time on this is what disability, this is how it impacts, you know, not just the people but your department, and how your department can make a better, you know, Jacksonville for everyone.
It's had a tremendous effect, not on just my life, but my family's life too, because the easier it is on me, the easier it is on my family, especially my wife, which is my caregiver. And so making her more comfortable is more important to me than me being comfortable.
Even though like in my head it was like my life is over, like it helps make everything accessible for me. So even though like, you know, my friends, they go to the mall, well, it's like, well, I can go to the mall too because I have accessibility everywhere.
That has been the law that I think that any person with disability treats as kind of like the Bible, because it's what gives you, that person, the freedom to really be an equal playing field.
On my job, I work for Division of Blind Services, and it allows me with accessible software to be able to utilize a computer, access information.
People see that they can have input and they can make a difference. You know, I mean, I think the first meeting I came to, maybe me and 2 other extra people other than the council members in the room, and now, you know, filling the room up some months.
So the division started September 26, 1989, and the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed July 26, 1990. So Jacksonville was proactive in regards to advocating for individuals with disabilities.
I'm proud of our employees and what they do, the fines that they've raised, 150, I think 1.5 million, I believe, that they use for implementing better legislation, better opportunities for the disabled here in Jacksonville.
Of all the years that I have spent on City Council, this is obviously one of the greatest resolution or ordinances, I should say, to ever have been a part of, and I was proud to be a part of it with my friend Tommy.
Some of the things that I know that we're most proud of that we continue to work on is adaptive recreation.
I love it because I miss being in the ocean, and I just like the salt air. I like being on the beach. It's perfect.
With Jacksonville being part of the Jacksonville park system and being part of the biggest park system in Jacksonville and having the beaches here, being able to enjoy those natural resources for everybody and making sure that they're accessible. So, and being part of Florida, that's always important.
I'm the chairman of the adaptive recreation, so getting people involved in the recreation. I'm also a commissioner on the Jacksonville Waterways Commission. So the one initiative I wanted to start with on the Waterways Commission is I wanted adaptive kayak launches. This is River City. We need to have something that we can offer people with disabilities to get on the water and enjoy fishing or whatever they want to do, just paddling around.
That has completely changed my life because it's like, yes, I'm in a wheelchair now, but I've done more things now than I think I would have ever done when I was walking, because it's like I've gone surfing. I don't think I've ever would have surfed if I was walking, horseback riding, water skiing, bowling, and it's like, it's like my quality of life is better now than I feel like it would have been if I was walking, just because, it's opened up so many doorways.
And then this is the little slide piece, it just slides out like that.
Providing services and stuff for people with disabilities is kind of, a really great opportunity, and so it's really, it always, like I said, it always brings us back and makes us not want to leave that much because there's just so many opportunities out there.
Our disabled parking enforcement program helps with funding different programs and services for the community. That funding for that program goes right back into the community, and having over 80 volunteers there helps as well.
I've been disabled my whole life, and I've always been aggravated when I'm at a shopping center or I go out and someone parks in a disabled spot and they don't need it. So when this first started, I think it started in 2001, so I'm from the class of 2002, I wanted to be a part of it.
The first ticket I ever wrote, it was in front of a medical facility, right in front of their door. And I'm writing the ticket and a couple comes out, and I'm gonna be nice and say they were 85 years old. They were on their walkers, forearms, all their weight on their walkers, and they're thanking me for writing this ticket because they had to park way down the parking lot. So it makes you feel good when you can do something like that.
30% goes to the firemen, the sheriff's department. The rest goes into funds for disabled, for people that need to be qualified for a ramp. And also we do scholarships for disabled kids and all that. All that goes into that funds there. So that's why it makes me so happy when I do write a ticket, I know that it's going for a good cause.
The main reason is to educate. I'm not out there just to give tickets and to make people's lives miserable. I want to educate people because a lot of people that move here, since Florida is a transient state, they don't know our laws. They don't know the rules. So I'd rather educate and explain what the rules are than just throw a ticket at them because not many people can afford $250.
I would definitely say, continue to work on transportation issues for individuals, continue to work with JTA and making sure that the transportation is accessible and everybody can get where they need to go independently, and then to be able to have the adaptive recreation so everybody can enjoy our natural resources, and to continue to advocate at the state and federal level for the rights of individuals with disabilities.
Remembering all of the programs, all of the services, anything that we're doing in Jacksonville, that there's that 20% of the population that wants to be a part of it also. And just trying to, keep that in mind. I think that's what we're pushing for.
Our hardships don't define us, but they're we should use them as motivation to keep going and live our lives. So.
and I've always been around people with disabilities, and I know what it takes. So I'm like, I'm going to advocate the most for just equal access and treating everybody the same, but for people with disabilities to also know that they have rights and they have the same opportunity as anybody. They just need to believe in themselves.
Just being a part of something, seeing somebody else is able to do something, or maybe seeing somebody doing something gives you an idea to come up with your own thing, you know?
It definitely is continuing to get the word out, letting more people within the city and county know that the division exists. We do have public meetings, so encouraging more people to be a part of it.
Well, all of this stuff is not easy work, but to me, it's rewarding when I go home at night and lay down and say my prayers and feel like that I've done something for humanity.